Alright guys, this is episode 2 here with Salty Badger. And what we're going to work on today is on my son's bike, which I have to be careful of because we are working on it and it's uncovered. So there'll probably be some editing and redacting in this video. But first I'd like to give a shout out to Ray's Moto Life. He was our first subscriber. I followed him. He's got some good information. He likes to support local people in smaller shops. Not local to me, but he did give us some support, so I definitely want to give him that shout out. What we're working on today is my son's bike, the Aircleaner that he picked out. Told him it didn't really matter because everything's pretty much been done custom on this. Pick out what he likes and we'll make it work. The issue coming to hand is that he picked out a newer style air cleaner like we put onto his mom's and my wife's bagger, and those breathe through the cylinder heads and use this larger 7/16 course hole mounting bolt that mounts through the air cleaner and goes to the head which they have stands for, and it's got a breather hole through it. So his motor has a 5/16 mounting bolt on it. Now, I've come up with a plan to make this work easier. I've kind of run a few plans through. I've already test fit this, so that kind of shows how far the bolt goes in, how far it goes through the mounting plate. I'll show you that in a second. Before that, for the people that put these on the baggers, let me show you something. I got a little bit going kind of fast on the project when I was doing it, which I tend to do, and not read instructions. On the 2018 bagger of my wife's, the first step in the instruction is to remove this bracket. I skipped that part. Luckily enough, it didn't cause a bunch of damage. We never fired the bike up after we put the air cleaner and exhaust on it and did the other work because we were taking it to the dealership to get tuned, and part of the reason I was in a hurry is I was getting ready to load it on the trailer and needed to get the air cleaner on it. And we were leaving for Texas, going to drop this off to them. So we get down to Texas, I get a call from the dealer, and they got it tuned and had a high idle. Before they could put on the dyno, they asked me what they wanted to do. Being the bike was already there, we were in Texas, I asked them to check it out. They figured out that I forgot to remove this bracket, causing a vacuum leak from a broken intake manifold. Who'd have ever thought plastic intake, you know? Good thing is, part wasn't super expensive. A part included, I think Town & Country charged me like $200. Yeah, I could have done it cheaper, probably bought the part, maybe even bought a better part, but it wouldn't have made that big a difference in the numbers. And it also would have been more downtime, and the bike wouldn't have been ready by the time we got back from Texas. So that's that little part of my own mistake. Hey, I'm human, I make mistakes. So back to the plan of what we're going to do. I need to cut these studs because they're a little bit longer than they need to be. Then what I'm going to do is take this mounting bolt so that I don't have to run a bushing or anything or make anything further, or trying to find a larger button head bolt that will fit into the mounting area. I'm going to cut these studs off, like I said. Then I'm going to drill this out where the vent is because we do not need the vent on the older motor. We've got other venting options that we've run on this, which I will show also later. But we're going to drill this hole out. I'm going to tap it out to 5/16, and then this bolt will screw onto this stud. I'm going to put some red Loctite on it so it doesn't separate. So if we need to take apart at a later time, then we'll be able to use the factory mounting bolts to the 5/16 stud to hold the stand in place. So I'm going to get started on that. Probably won't record a lot because it's going to be hard to hold the camera because I don't have any holding devices yet, and no assistant inside of the garage. And then we'll see how that goes from there. Okay, what I've done here is I've chamfered the bolt after I cut it off, and now I'm just running a dye up it to clean the threads off. Make sure it's good and clean. I use these soft jaw guards for my vise when I'm working on threads and bolts, and a lot of fittings. Anything that's got chrome or any kind of coating on it, these really protect it before you put it in the vise, and still gives you the ability to hold something. Really recommend a pair of these. You can buy them on Amazon. I got these particular ones, I believe, from Summit. I believe they're All-Star. All right, now we're going to drill and tap the original vented hole like I spoke about earlier. Luckily, I haven't mounted this on the wall yet. This came from Lowbrow Customs, and I actually really like this. It was free and something that I bought, but I use it a lot. It's got a nice drill bit, tap size. Sitting on it, you come over here and just look at your 5/16, 18, 17, 64ths. So that gives us that information. Next, I got my drill bit. I already measured it. I put some electrical tape on it because I don't want to drill too deep, but I want to get it deep as I can and not get into the actual head, and try to leave as much support there as it does get smaller. If it's got a area here so it can vent on the, like I said, on the newer baggers. This will stop it from going any farther. It's a nice little trick so that if you're drilling a hole and you have a depth that you want to go to. Okay, now I've got the hole drilled and I am tapping the inside of it so the 5/16 stud can go inside of it. Here's the finished product. New mounting bolts for the Aircleaner. Now we're going to go install. Alright guys, that's it for this video. It all worked out. It's mounted. It's ready to go. Look forward to sharing it with you guys. Please make sure to like and subscribe.